Anyone that knows me knows that I'm not short on words, especially Steve. And this evening, I just wanted to share with you our joy with having all of you here. We're just thrilled that we're able to meet Cory's family, and we've had a great partnership with Daryl and Jerry helping us plan this joyous event. And to my family and to many of you, I just want to say, Gomen hopien ho fun he, Gomen a Cory, Stephen get fun, ho Sam ho ho. And what I'm saying there is we're so joyful that Steve and Cory are married today. And what we want to do is to toast them, and in Chinese that means gung hee, joy and happiness. Gung hee. Woo! Now my better half is going to share some thoughts about Steve, and I think I might chime in from time to time too. Wouldn't that be a surprise?
I'm not really sure that it's the better half. I don't know. I mean, I think it's 49-51, something close to that, but Cory could probably figure that out for us. I'm Jim Donner. This is Mary Donner, obviously, and we're the parents of Stephen Donner. And the first thing I want to say, in addition to welcoming everyone here, and especially Cory's family, because for the first time we're meeting many of Cory's relatives and friends, a shout out to my brother Bob for the officiation of this ceremony. My brother has spent a lot of time thinking of how to prepare this ceremony and working extensively with Cory and Stephen to do that. And Bob, I can't think of any person I'd rather have do that than you. That means so much to me. The only other person that perhaps could have done it would have been our father, who passed away in 2010. So he couldn't do that. Our father married us in 1975. I would have loved for him to have been here, but he couldn't be here. So as I watched you today, I thought of Dad, and I thought of the things he would have said and done, and many things you said and did are things that Dad would have done. So that was very, very special to me. I hope you enjoyed Bob's officiation of the wedding, because it was very important to him too. As I think has been expressed already by Jerry and Daryl, we're very excited about the idea of having Cory be part of a family. And we know that Stephen is very excited about being part of Cory's family as well. It's really, really important to them. They're both very special people, and we are so pleased that after looking around, I presume, for a while, they found each other. And they're so confident and comfortable with each other, because we are too. We've said this many times, we finally have the daughter we never had. They're both only children, and that's been interesting. Many of their friends are only children. I don't know what that means, but they've kind of sought out other people who are only children. Many of you in the room may be only children, I don't know. But it seems to be working pretty well. Interestingly, as we got to know Jerry and Daryl, what we identified was between the two of us, we have 78 years, long years, of wedded bliss. And well, we only had 41. They had 37 or 38, I think. I'm not sure what it was. But our grandparents on our side had a combined total of 101 years, have a combined total of 101 years of marriage. And so what we're hoping is that they're going to be able to spend 101 years together in wedded bliss, just as we have been, and our relatives have. I would be remiss if I did not share a story of how we first got to know Cory in 2012. We've only known her for the last 4 years. And jump in if I make a mistake here, because I'm kind of secondhand in giving this. Those of you who know Mary and myself probably know that we have always had kind of a strong family. We're very close, we're very caring. I hope we are. And we've always felt like we shared a lot of information with each other. We've always known who Stephen's friends were. Even when he went to college 2,000 miles away, we pretty much knew who he was hanging out with and who he talked about his
Sort
friends.
of.
Kind of. Although we think in some ways when he went to Santa Clara University, it was a little bit more vague, perhaps, than when he was in Northbrook. But one of the things he told us, he's very social. He had lots of friends. And he told us on occasion that he was just hanging out with Cory. Hanging out with Cory. So we automatically, Mike and Linda Gold, went to assume that he was hanging out with Cory Gold, one of his groomsmen. Because Cory Gold lived in Northbrook and was a really good friend of his. There is Cory up there. Cory appeared to be a cover. We thought he was hanging out with Cory. But what we didn't realize was that there was another Cory that we had not been told about.
Much better looking.
Much.
I know you'll forgive me.
The reality is that we learned about Cory secondhand through people that Mary knew at Allstate, but also knew Stephen knew at Allstate. And Mary was, as she described to me, in shock when her friend at Allstate, is she in the room?
No.
Okay. Informed her that Stephen had indicated on his Facebook page that he was in a relationship
Hello.
with somebody named Cory, C-O-R-Y, not C-O-R-E-Y, which is Cory Gold. Now, we were affronted by this because we had felt like we really knew our son. He shared every bit of information with us. And as a lawyer, I would say, he kind of met the minimum face test in terms of having told us he was going out with a Cory. He just didn't tell us which Cory he was with. So we kind of assumed that that was what the Cory was. Concurrent with that understanding and realization, we learned through Stephen's cousin Kristen over here at this table, and her cousin Eric's wife Kelly, that Stephen had indicated on his Facebook page that he was in a relationship. This had not been revealed to us. We did not know this.
This was through their deep research.
Yes.
However, they failed to tell us, but they told their parents. And they were too chicken to tell us.
Therefore, we only learned secondhand. And when we finally went to Stephen and we said, what is this about? Why haven't you told us about this Cory person? All of a sudden, he told us about Cory. And then we met Cory. And that was wonderful because once we met Cory, we got to know her really well. And we got to love her very much. And we're so happy that they are together. Incidentally, part of the reason we had a problem was because at that point in time, 2012, we weren't all that Facebook savvy. But now we've become very Facebook savvy, and we text a lot. We really kind of know what's going on. But we've been told that Cory's now going to Twitter to communicate, so we have to figure that one out as well. Over the past 4 years, since 2012, we spent a lot of time, and we know, based on our experience with being with them all the time, that they're deeply in love, that this is the real one for them. But I'd like to call out a couple of special people in their lives who kind of understand their love story, in addition to their relatives, our family in Illinois, Wisconsin, Florida, North Carolina, Washington State, and California, including Bob and Trudy in California. Steve's grandmother, Moy, who was mentioned before, who lives in Milwaukee, who's been a very important part in his life. And all of his aunts and uncles that are here tonight. And even his second cousin, McKenna, you've heard from occasionally, commenting on some of the things that have been said, and walking the floor here. She is his youngest, she's his youngest probably celebrant here tonight, I would have to say. Yeah, here in person. But as he mentioned, we also want to remember the three grandparents who aren't here tonight. Fred Moy, who died in 1988, Frank and Jane Donner, who died in 2010 and 2012, because they loved him so much and they felt so strongly about them. And so we feel their spirit here tonight. And we know that, Stephen, you really know that your grandparents are here as well tonight. Second, I'd like to call out Stephen's godparents, Steve and Jeanette Chang, who are over here at this table. They are from Indio, California. They are the people who introduced Stephen to Disneyland in Anaheim. I think you were 3 years old when you took your very first flight to Anaheim, and they kind of indoctrinated him, at that point, 3 years old, into the California lifestyle experience, which explains part of why he went to California for college, we think. And I'd also like to call out, I mean, there are many friends in this room, but I'd like to call out Jim Kamane, I call him Mate, and his wonderful wife Nancy, and their kids Caitlin, James, Scarlett, and Isabel, that are all over the room here, that are from Melbourne, Australia. Jim is my business partner. We work together a lot in Australia and here in the United States, and they probably take the prize for traveling the furthest distance to come to this wedding tonight. We love them, and we're so glad they're with us tonight. And again, many longtime friends that are here, we've known a long time. There are people, Mary and I just moved to Chicago 14 months ago, and there are people in this room who we met since we moved into our building. We're the people who live 2 blocks away, by the way. And so there are people in this room who we've only known for a year, 14 months, and they're wonderful friends of ours too, so we want to call them out. In our count, I think as we counted who are here from our side, not to distinguish our side from their side, to make it that obvious, we think we have people from about 11 states, the District of Columbia, from Australia, and from the UK. So those people are here. And we also have a lot of people here that we had the pleasure of meeting as Stephen grew up, his childhood friends, his college friends, and many of his work friends that are here tonight. So what I would ask you to do now is to put on your celebration hat, enjoy the evening. Let's toast one for Steve and Cory. Let's continue the party. Or at least the food.